Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today, I would like to do a little video on something that I've always known, but I am personally implementing it into my life. And it is the fact that we bring the noise. And what I mean by that is, I've touched on a couple videos lately where I've been feeling a little disconnected lately, a little bit like I am having a little bit of a harder time, hearing my intuition and my guides and whatnot. And number one, I think it is just life, and it is totally natural to be in the ebb and flow. I do believe that sometimes our intuition and our guides, and we're going to be really tuned in at certain times in our life, and I think that at certain times we are going to be tuning out, and we are going to be bringing that noise that makes us not able to hear the divine. Because I want to say this first is, it is not the divine that has abandoned us or isn't there for us or isn't trying to communicate with us, because through every avenue of life, through sometimes the words that people speak or the videos that you see, or and like a billboard that might be speaking to you, all of those things, because you are the creator of your life and there is only one creator. So therefore that makes it that our entire reality is able to be bent to the divine, and therefore the divine is able to speak to us in a sign of maybe three birds flying by, different things like that. So if you are not able to tap into the divine in one aspect, say you are very clairaudient and you are usually able to ask questions and hear those answers in your mind, and you are not able to do that, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Well, it can mean what we're going to talk about, kind of, but it's not necessarily bad, and it definitely doesn't mean that the divine is not speaking to you. The divine just may not be speaking to you in that way. The divine could just be speaking to you in your reality with the things that are coming into your life. And there is an idea that every single thing serves a purpose. However, I think that we can literally drive ourselves insane if we walk around trying to decipher every single thing that is in our life. But I'm talking about when you see something that really speaks to you, and you will get used to that feeling of when it speaks to you and when something is not speaking to you. But so if you are not able to tune in the way that you normally are able to, I encourage you to start to look for other things, look for things in your reality. Maybe you might be experiencing more clairvoyance, your mind's eye. So try and interpret those pictures that you're getting or those scenes that you're getting. But the other side of that is if you are not able to tap in the way that you are normally tapping in, and then you maybe look in your outer world and you're actually not able to tap in that way, you have to go within and consider the noise that is going on within. And you may still be on top of your routines, but your life just might be bringing more noise into your internal space. And that is a lot of the work that we are doing here, is to try and not shut out the outer world so we have no idea what's going on, but we don't want outer noise to be brought into our inner world. Because remember, our inner world is the most important thing. Our inner world is what creates the outer world. So we don't want to be bringing, if you are having noise inside and it's transmuting into noise on the outside, you don't want to then bring that noise back inside. What you want to do is stop and really reflect on your life. And here's the thing. at the times that the noise in our inner world is the loudest is probably the time that we need our intuition the most, that we need the divine the most. And that is when it is easy to then point the finger on the outside and say, well, the divine is not speaking to me. My higher self is not speaking to me. My intuition is not coming through. And that's actually not true. What is true is you are having too much noise on the inside, and noise can look like a lot of different things. It can look like stress is huge noise in ourselves, because the stress comes out in a multitude of different ways. It can come out in anxiety or depression, or cause you to overeat, or cause you to stay in bed, and cause you not to get the movement. Stress can bring in so much noise, not to mention just the running of the mind when you're stressed out, because usually when you're stressed out, something is on your mind. You're thinking about maybe a solution to something, or just thinking about that thing in general, or what's gonna happen, and the what ifs, and the snowballing, and mixed with trying to move on with, move through your regular life. But you now have this stressor, and all of those things can create internal noise. The other things that can create internal noise is if you have fallen out of your routines, if you aren't on top of your wellness game. A lot of that can create inner noise, because then your body is just trying to get into that state of coherence, and by not tending to your wellness, the wellness of your mind, body, and soul, it creates that noise, because then your body is just trying to get into an aligned place, just trying to get into that balanced, coherent place, a place that you are normally at when you are on top of your routines and you are on top of your wellness. So that can also create noise within yourself. Other things that can create noise is if you, and I find this in myself, sometimes when you listen too much to what other people have to say and opinions of other people and what other people think that you should be doing, that can create a lot of noise, because that can create this kind of like push and pull of, your intuition trying to pull you this way, but then you listen to someone who says you're freaking crazy, and they're just like, and then that thought in your mind is just pulling. So then it creates this like resistance, and it creates this noise. And it also creates a feeling of, when you do hear your intuition and it is telling you something different, if you have taken in too much of what other people think you should do, you can start to formulate and to think that that really is what you should do. And sometimes great advice comes from other people. It is up to us to use our discernment to decide when, when someone is giving us advice that is good for us personally. And it is just up to us to, kind of figure that out on our own. That is what our intuition is about. That is what our discernment is about. And even with the noise, your intuition will come through very strongly sometimes. But we have to consider, let's reflect, let's go within, let's, kind of bring our awareness to what things in our life can be creating inner noise that is preventing you from hearing the divine. And since I have brought my awareness to this very recently, and I know that I'm creating a lot of inner noise, now I'm able to move forward from that spot. Now I'm able to be like, okay, I've been a little stressed out. I've been a little very kind of wrapped up in this world. Let's think about this. And I watched a short video yesterday. I love Sarah Landon. If you don't watch her, I highly recommend her. I love her so much. And she said that we have to start living as ascended masters. And you have to start asking yourself, if I were an ascended master, what would I be doing right now? What would I do? And I really like that, because the truth is we are actually all ascended masters that just have to wake up to the fact of what we truly are. And that is the work that we're doing here. That is what humanity is going through as a collective right now. And it's such a beautiful thing, because, you know, you can start out saying, how, if I were an ascended master, how would I act? But I think that as we move and ascend, and as, you know, our consciousness starts to wake up and starts to evolve even more, we will come to then say, I am the ascended master. How do I want to act? How do I want to move forward? What do I want to do? And even just hearing that, like I just heard that video last night, and putting those thoughts kind of into my head, I was able to kind of get a couple answers of the things that I've been asking recently during my morning meditation. My meditation hasn't been something that I have put aside or given up, but just the awareness of me understanding that I am creating noise, that it's noisy. I actually heard that a few days ago. I heard noisy. It's noisy. And I think I brought this up in a video, when the video of the divine is always listening. But I want this video to be focused on us and our inner world, and the fact that we create the noise. We bring in the noise. It is our thinking mind. It is our egoic mind that brings the noise. The divine doesn't go anywhere. There's nowhere for the divine to go. Everything is here, everything is now, and the divine is always here, and the divine is always listening. So that is just what I wanted to deliver, the message I wanted to deliver today. I hope you can apply this in your life if you've been feeling that maybe you have a little bit more inner noise. And my name is Anne, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you tomorrow.